Hey, good morning, Mike.
Morning. How's it going?
Good to see you. My name is Trevor Grimm, partner account manager, Mike Coker, founder of DEVGRU Networks. Just want to talk a little bit today on Deep Dive with DEVGRU about who we are, what we do, and how we can help out our customers. So I guess to get started, who are you? How did you start this thing? And kind of what was your vision at the beginning of DEVGRU?
For sure. Yeah, I've been doing this for a very long time. I'm probably dating myself by even saying how long.
Yeah.
But I've been doing networking since the first .com days. And so, you know, I started off the Cisco train like kind of everybody else. I went and got Cisco-certified, continued down that train to a point where I was publishing Cisco books and doing all that. And yeah, I was on the Cisco train. And then probably about 2008, I had my first Juniper experience and was like, this is awesome. Why didn't Cisco do this, you know, in the beginning? Once an engineer hits the rollback command, the commit confirmed, and it saves you from, you know, the router outage that you're doing in India or somewhere remote, and like you just lost, you know, connectivity to it, and you got to dispatch somebody. Juniper, you know, solved that problem. So I became a big, you know, Juniper fan instantly right then, and so kind of continue that. And then through my career, you know, became, you know, engineer, senior engineer, architect. I was architect at an ISP, and then I went to FireEye, cybersecurity company in the Bay Area. I was a network architect there, built out several data centers, and then I moved into management. And when I moved into management, we had probably about 4 of the largest, you know, top 10 resellers that we worked with. And so we worked with them all the time, and they were great at selling us stuff. But horrible providing any kind of technical experience. They didn't have anybody technical. And so at one point we were, in FireEye basically made this cybersecurity appliance that kind of sat, you know, on the edge of the network and would basically do like sandboxing and spin up a VM of you to then, you know, the bad guy comes, hits the VM instead of you, and goes tells the rest of the FireEye appliances about the bad guy and helps, you know, do that. Now with next generation firewalls, it's kind of, you know, they kind of do that. But at that point, we were basically trying to virtualize that and put it around POPs around the world and have the companies basically GRE or IPsec traffic come in. And it was all kind of crazy NAT, you know, triple NAT and stripping off XFF headers and all this stuff. And so when we did that, I went to the different resellers and nobody could help at all. They even went and one of them took us to Juniper. They really kind of didn't know how. And so I called a friend of mine who had helped me at Raging Wire, ISP I worked at, where we built a full-blown MPLS backbone, all Juniper gear and stuff. And so we did that. I called him and he's like, oh yeah, we've done that for Chevron and Boeing. And like, no problem. So he comes on and brings on his architect Edgar, and so who on our last interview, you know, he was on there, and so he came in, and I always say he went, you know, like Matt Damon on Good Will Hunting like, on the whiteboard, just like scrolls it all out, and we're like, this is amazing. And so that was my first introduction to an actual VAR, and because I call everybody else resellers. The value add, they're actually added value.
Right.
And so there's so many examples of that they just helped from like a technical perspective, from like a design, whatever. And so, and that was my first introduction to that. And so that was my friend Nick, and he eventually sold that company. I eventually went over to Williams-Sonoma as a director, and I had the exact same experience. We were always using these huge resellers, couldn't help anything technically. And so then when I left Williams-Sonoma, I decided to start this because I have so many engineers I've worked with in the past. They've worked for me or with me, and so I decided to start this and basically start a true VAR, the value add that can actually help customers. And so and we've done it. We have so many customers from, and we get brought in like multiple times a week at this point from account managers, you know, from HP that basically say, hey, we sold, you know, XYZ to a customer, and this reseller can't help them. And it's like, they're $1 billion reseller. How do they not help them? They have 6,000 employees, you know, and it's like it'll just be basic stuff sometimes, Mist, SRX, QFX, whatever, and so then we come in, and you know, we talk to the customer, and they have a great experience, and they, you know, kind of, you know, we develop that partnership from there. And so, yeah, so that's what that was the whole goal of DEVGRU and kind of why I started it, and it's gone extremely well, and we continue to build, continue to scale, and we have seen some great customer success. And again, from the HPE account managers, once they kind of use us and they see, then it's like it's game on, because they know that we can actually provide those services and help the customer, and they don't have to continue to like use their own engineering to help out or whatever when the reseller is falling short, because we can do it all for them.
Yeah, frees them up for sure.